Welcome into the Casual Gaming Conversation. I'm Connor. That's Nick. This is your weekly gaming podcast from Ep.64. This week we are doing the Nintendo Switch Games Bracket. We're going to decide between 32 games what is the best Nintendo Switch game of all time. And we're shooting this live over on twitch.tv/co_op64. We got an audience here to help us do the tiebreakers, and or if we don't know about a certain game, to help make that decision for us. So we have a lot to get into today. We also are doing the Pokemon trading card game Pocket review.
I like that that's your lead for after this.
We have the Black Ops 6 review, and we have the PlayStation 5 Pro review. So we got three big reviews to get to after this. It's going to be a lot of fun. What do we got, Nick?
I'm feeling great today, dude. We got a lot of fun. The chat is popping off. We got a lot of new faces. So happy to be here. For those who don't know, we stream Monday through Thursday, 7 to 10 every single week, Eastern time zone. But yeah, we're here. We're live on a Sunday morning. It's raining here in Cincinnati.
It's pouring.
Yeah. I rolled out to help Connor with some coffees in the games today as he brought in the PS5 Pro. And surely enough, I was slipping in my flip-flops. It was not a good morning.
Nick comes out in a T-shirt and flip-flops. It's pouring rain. I'm like, Nick, what is going on here?
Connor says, I'm here. And the worst thing is when you're like, I'm here, and then you have to wait. No,
yeah, I was standing outside in the rain waiting for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Where the heck is Nick?
I went as fast as I could. I didn't have jacket time.
I gave you lead time, though. I told you I was at the Dunkin' around the corner.
Yeah,
that means get your jacket on, get your shoes on. Oh, my goodness.
I told you at 6:50 I was waking up, and then I would be out of the shower probably around 9.
Righty, some housekeeping for you. We haven't gotten to properly thank everybody who came out to the Ohio Retro Gaming Convention. That was last weekend. We had a ton of fun at the meet and greet, at the panel. It went off without a hitch. It went as good as it could have possibly went, I would say. So we had a ton of fun meeting everybody. It was a blast. Just one of those special moments that like kind of reminds us that this whole thing is so special to us to get to meet everybody and make these connections and put names to faces and see everybody. It was amazing. So thank you guys so much for coming out and meeting us. It was surreal. It was a blast. Thank you guys so much. And I spent way too much money at the game convention. The PlayStation Vita. Oh my God, this console is so good.
Connor, give me the PlayStation Vita one more time.
The PlayStation Vita.
Oh, it's so good, dude. Good. It means life, Connor.
It means life. I have 57 games downloaded on it now. I am ready to party. I beat Parappa the Rapper last night. I was rapping in the car. I was rapping in the dojo. I gotta believe, Nick.
You gotta believe.
It was so good. So that was a lot of fun. Next up, we've been promoting Torg for so long, but now that's done and over. We got to move on to the next exciting thing.
Turn the page, Connor. Yeah. We turn the page.
We're going to be live streaming our reaction to the Game Awards December 12th. This is another one of those big streams where we show out in our suits. We get all dripped out. We're really going to be looking good, reacting, and talking about all the announcements, all the awards with all of you. It was a ton of fun last year. Almost too much fun, some may say.
It was definitely too much fun, Connor.
And so if you want to come hang out with us, we're going to be having a blast. So December 12th, put it on the calendar. Get suited up yourself. Get dripped out. It's going to be a lot of fun.
I want to say, Connor, I'm going in with low expectations, but the potential energy of this Game Awards is, in my opinion, the highest potential energy there's ever been with the year that we're leading into. And the fact that there are so many still unknowns.
GTA 6.
Persona 6.
Persona 6.
A little game called Kingdom Hearts 4. Metal Gear Solid release date. I assume that when Jeff does the teases, you know how the week before he'll do a couple teases. I assume Metal Gear Solid Delta will be one of those teases. Very similar to FF16 2 years ago for a release date on that day. It's going to be a lot of fun there.
It's going to be awesome. So come hang out with us on December 12th. And then the usual stuff, Discord merch in our link in our bio on TikTok. Discord, we have over 1,900 community members chatting, hanging out, playing games. Lots of Call of Duty Black Ops 6 happening right now. Just lots of games just in general. So come hang out in there. Merch if you want. Hoodies or t-shirts or mugs, we have those available on our merch store, coop64store.com, right?
Yeah, coop64store.com.
Yeah, there we go. If you want to purchase those and support us that way. And if you want to leave us nice reviews on Apple Podcast Services, even if you don't use Apple Podcast Services, it gets the show out to more people and would be a huge help to us. So without further ado, let's
do it.
All right, hopping into the Nintendo Switch games bracket, let's go over the games. I got the left side of the board, you got the right side if you're looking at the board. We have Breath of the Wild, Stardew Valley, Mario Maker 2, Pokemon Legends Arceus, Mario 3D World and Bowser's Fury, Kirby and the Forgotten Lands, Link's Awakening, Mario Party Superstars, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, Luigi's Mansion 3, Hollow Knight, Bayonetta 3, Mario Wonder, Hades, Animal Crossing New Horizons, and Nintendo Switch Sports.
And on the east side of the bracket, we have Celeste, Splatoon 3, Fire Emblem 3 Houses, Mario Party Jamboree, Mario Odyssey, Astral Chain, Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, Pokemon Violet and Scarlet, Xenoblade 3, Pikmin 4, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Snipper Clips, Tears of the Kingdom, Mario Plus Rabbids, Metroid Dread, and Octopath 1.
Yes, so somebody asked, are we just doing exclusives? No, as you can see with the
indies.
With the indies, we decided it needs to be heavily associated with the Switch. So Octopath Traveler is on other consoles. You have Celeste and Hollow Knight on other consoles. Hades. But these are games that I think are heavily associated with the Nintendo Switch.
I went to battle for Blotcher, everyone. I went to battle for Blotcher last night. I lost the battle. It's okay.
People play Blotcher on everything. I understand that a lot of people play a lot of these games on a lot of other things, but like, I think Hollow Knight, I think the Switch. I think Stardew Valley, I think the Switch.
I think Blotcher, I think the Switch, but that's just me. Just me.
Now I think my phone.
You think, are you playing it on your phone?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought they were still rocking on your Switch.
No.
Where's Cuphead?
That was one of the cuts. It was a year exclusive on Xbox, and it was published by Xbox, I believe, as well. So like that's disqualifying in my opinion.
Yeah.
So
but like that's the thing where if we want Cuphead to come in with the money to bank in the Final Four, I'm so down for it. Connor, the music hits, Cuphead, and it's awesome ass art style just starts running out. The money in the bank music hits, and we're going. Are you just checking the chat, making sure that we're not down?
No. I'm reading about Monster Hunter Rise, Super Mario RPG. Super Mario RPG was a question. It's just a remake, and I know that we have Link's Awakening, but
it feels like a completely new game with Link's Awakening. I know it's a remake and everything, but that like the question is, do you put Doubts in your door on there?
And then Monster Hunter Rise is on everything now.
Yeah,
and I know that it was Switch exclusive for a long time, but it actually like really got its second wind when it went to everything, and that's where it became way more popular.
Is there a world where Link's Awakening is not down there? I was like, can we get 4 Zelda games in the Final Four? Is that a possibility? It wouldn't happen anyways, but I was just curious.
No shot.
It can't happen.
Okay, let's get into it. First matchup, Breath of the Wild versus Stardew Valley. I don't think this is much of a debate. I know that it might be for some people, but like Breath of the Wild is one of the greatest games of all time.
I'm just not going to get any hate. I'm just going to say move Breath of the Wild on.
You haven't even played Breath of the Wild.
And then we can just move on. I don't want any hate. I just don't want any of the smoke. That's what I'm saying. I don't want the smoke in that matchup.
Just so everybody knows, this is probably going to go faster than like our usual bracket or because we only have 32 games and we sometimes have 64, and the tier list we usually have way more games, but we have so much to get to today with the 3 other reviews that you're going to get to
a lot of content.
Mario Maker 2 versus Pokemon Legends Arceus.
This is what dreams are made of, Connor. Matches like this. Okay,
this is the easiest
because you think Mario Maker 2 in this scenario.
Absolutely. Mario Maker 2 is one of the it's so good, dude.
I love it. I played a lot of Mario Maker 2.
It is creativity personified. Like the way that people go fucking insane in this game. The only downside to it is that it's the second time they did it. Mario Maker 1 like was so impressive, but it was on the Wii U, so not a lot of people played it. But it got a lot of buzz because it was so fucking fun and hilarious and interesting. And then Super Mario Maker 2 comes out, and it had its moment in the spotlight for a period of time, and then it feels like it just went away completely.
Yeah.
But for when it was really popular, it was really popular and really cool.
Yeah.
Legends Arceus is like a competent video game.
Mario Maker 2 for me, like the thing that it really did was helped out the Switch in a year where there wasn't a ton of Switch software, if I remember correctly. Legends Arceus for me is a really special game. It's one of my favorite Pokemon games ever. I think it's the best Pokemon on the Switch by a landslide at this point.
I agree with that too.
Would vote Legends Arceus in this matchup.
All right, I would vote Mario Maker. So we put it to the audience. Get the poll going. Pokemon Legends versus Mario Maker 2.
1 minute polls. today?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, we're going to do 1 minute polls. Alex, if you can run that for us, that'd be awesome. All right, moving on to the next one.
Super Mario 3D World versus Kirby and the Forgotten Lands. I would take Kirby and the Forgotten Lands here.
Yeah, I'm okay to default with
just
you on that one.
Because we got the Wii U port. I know Bowser's Fury is really cool and interesting. It's an experience rather than a full game, though, I would say. But it is a really good experience. Yeah. But Kirby and the Forgotten Land is really interesting and really cool. So Kirby. For shorthand, I just put Kirby Forgot.
Kirby, they don't know where they're at right now. Yeah. They're lost a little bit.
Link's Awakening versus Mario Party Superstars. This is easy. Cake for me. Link's Awakening. No shot. Link's Awakening. You're out of your mind.
The best, arguably a top 3 Mario Party game of all time.
Jamboree's better.
I disagree. I don't think it's better.
Wild.
I think that's more content rich, but if I'm playing a Mario Party, I want the best of the best. And Superstars is just the best of the best.
We don't have a poll.
Okay, I can run it in just a moment. But Superstars is the best of the best. So for me, it's going to be Superstars. Yeah. All right, Connor, you want to start talking about the next matchup at least? Or give me your take on Link's Awakening. Why do you like Link's Awakening so much so that it can topple literally the best Mario Party? It's just the greatest hits. It's the Beatles' greatest. It's the Beatles 1, Connor.
Exactly,
that's what you're playing.
That's the problem here is that we have, well, you have your greatest hits and then you have a remake of a excellent game. I just think that Link's Awakening is like one of the most perfect 2D Zelda experiences. I know it's like technically 3D, but you know what I mean. Like the classic style of Zelda that we got on the Game Boy. I think when it comes to the art style, it's next level. When it comes to the dungeons, really solid. It's so warm and welcoming, much like Echoes. If Echoes hadn't been released, I think Link's Awakening still would be such a unique and interesting experience on the Switch. But now that you have Echoes, you have something to compare it to. But yeah, I think that Link's Awakening is excellent, and Grezzo did a great job with this remake.
Do you think that Echoes takes away from Link's Awakening sauce a little bit? Because now there is something like it on the Switch, and it is different and is new and exciting compared to something that is just a true remake.
That's kind of what I said. I think that now that you have something to compare it to, it does, like, its uniqueness is a little bit waned, but still. Same
with Superstars, though, compared to Jamboree at this point, where it's like, all right, we have the 2024 upgrade basically where you're doing something a little bit different. There's a little bit more content. For me, Superstars though has just the best Mario Party. Like I think that you cannot overstate modern Mario Party. So we have modern controls compared to something like Mario Party 2 and 3 that are timeless classics. You're just up-resing those, making them so much better, putting them in an awesome fucking package where, like, when I play Mario Party 2 or Mario Party 3 on the collection or on an N64, I'm only playing, like, 1 or 2 maps. Like, I'm only going to the woods one time, you know? Like, it's not something that I'm going to every single map in the map pool. I'm playing 1 or 2 maps. And then Mario Party Superstars just says, we're going to only do 4 of those, but it's going to be the 4 that you want to fucking play. It's like you go to the drive-through menu and it's like, all right, do we want like 7 choices? It's like, no, I'm just going to get the combo I always fucking get. And that is Mario Party Superstars.
The Cane's formula.
Yeah.
You only have 4 options on the menu.
Yeah, like, but all 4 are fucking delicious. Give me extra toast. Give me the fucking cane sauce. That's what it's all about. So, Arceus, Legends Arceus moves on over Mario Maker 2 in the first round. It's not going to make it a lot longer, but I'm happy that we got that win. There's a lot of these that are like first round darlings.
And then we need a Link's Awakening versus Mario Party Superstars.
Allie just said that she can run polls. That would be awesome, Allie. Thank you so much. Link's Awakening, Mario Party Superstars, 1 minute poll. Thank you so much, Allie. Smash Ultimate versus Luigi's Mansion 3.
It's Smash Ultimate. Smash Ultimate's like, I mean, Luigi's Mansion 3, really great game. Sold exponentially well. Everything sells well on the Switch. I think it sold like 11 million copies. It's crazy.
Pikmin 4 sold like 11 million though too. Everything just sells crazy
on the Switch if it's Nintendo first party especially. But Smash Ultimate is like one of the greatest fighting games of all time.
Yeah, Smash Ultimate is a game that I think will have a deep run in this bracket. A deep run in this bracket for sure. I think I'm at the point to say, somebody asked me in a chat, they were like, Nick, you like to play some fighting games every now and then? Like, you dabble. I'm like, yeah, I like the sauce every now and then. I watch a lot of fighting game content. Max Dude Million just did his top 10 fighting games thing in the same format that he did SNES and PlayStation 1. Gonna watch the fuck out of that later while I'm editing some videos. But for me, I'm at the point in my life where I think I can just say Smash Ultimate is for me, my favorite fighting game outside of something like Tekken 8, whereas it's similar. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is like my favorite racing game outside of something like Forza Horizon 5. It's just like the best, most casual shit ever. It's great.
It's perfect. Can we get a poll for Link's Awakening versus Mario Party Superstars, please? When you get a chance. Hollow Knight versus Bayonetta 3. If it was Bayonetta 2, it would be a conversation, as I understand it.
Okay.
I've only played Bayonetta 1. But Bayonetta 2 like got 10s.
Yeah.
Like is considered like one of the best games of all time.
This is a default to you, by the way.
Bayonetta 3, big letdown for a lot of people. So you gotta go with Hollow Knight, one of the goats for indies, especially on the Switch.
Yeah, when Connor and I were breaking down what we're gonna do for this bracket and trying to figure out which games go on, do we want the latest and greatest? Do we want the best of the best, or do we want a lot more Switch first party? Like, was something like 1-2 Switch going to make it on here just because it's Nintendo first party and this is a Nintendo Switch bracket? But when I think of the Switch, I think of it as the indie machine. And it's the indie machine that could, because you're talking about a machine that is not super great when it comes to graphics, but when you're talking about an indie game, it's more on the art style. It's not going crazy with it. I can run the poll out. Don't worry about it. But yeah, so it's an interesting spot where I'm like, I really think that Hollow Knight, Hades, a lot of these games are going to have deep runs, including the conversation we have to have next. Connor, what's up next?
We have Super Mario Bros. Wonder versus Hades.
Where are you at?
Okay. This is tough because I beat Wonder and I've played like 15 hours of Hades and I just don't really like roguelikes that much, but I respect Hades for just being so high quality and so good, and just not my bag is the problem. But if I'm trying to be objective here, I think you would probably have to go Hades, but it's close for sure. We're probably going to need a poll on this one as well. I see Hades, and I love both Hades. I think based off of the comments, we could just move it on.
I was just about to say, I think that you just move Hades on, and like Mario, the hard part is Zero in the flesh. Big Mario Wonder fan.
Yeah,
the creativity is like off the charts. Wait, you don't agree that it's like goated? Or
I don't agree that it's like. I think it's a very solid game. I think it is a great game. I gave it an 8.5 initially. I would give it an 8 now.
Okay.
I've waned on it. I think that initial creativity that smacks you in the face, kind of like in retrospect, is kind of wears on me a little bit, and I just like don't really care that much about that aspect of the game as I thought I did when I first played it.
I'm still at an 8.5 for me when it comes to my score. Hades, I went on our Switch, downloaded it 2 weeks ago. Didn't play it. Haven't touched it.
I need to get back to it. I just felt like I just don't like the aspects of roguelikes where you just have to replay the same shit over
Link's Awakening with the dub
again.
over Mario Party Superstars. Hey, 1-1, Connor. You got yours. I got mine. We're going to get these licks in today. It's got a little back and forth. That's what it's all about. That's what we're talking about.
Kirby forgot and Link is awake.
Hey, that's a fun matchup in the round of 16, Sweet 16.
Yeah. All right. So we're going to move Hades on. I fought the first like 2 bosses like fucking 10 times at this point. Like I just kind of got burnt out on it a little bit. Animal Crossing New Horizons versus Switch Sports. We don't even have.
I know we don't need to talk about.
Have a discussion
I need to talk about Nintendo Switch Sports real quick. This game, to me, if I were to review Nintendo Switch Sports, I would give it a 6 out of 10.
Okay.
This is my favorite 6 out of 10 I've ever played in my entire life. There are so many photos on my camera roll that I cannot show anyone because it is me, Shane, and then my 2 old roommates, Jake and Chase, in our underwear playing Switch Sports. Just like it would be the whole thing of like, all right, it's Wimbledon, and we're just like 4 a.m. There might have been a few beverages involved, but like it came out on my good buddy Chase's birthday, and we just devoured this. Me, Shane, and Jake all put in like $15 to go and buy it for him, and we played. It's Switch Sports. You can only play so much Switch Sports. There's only 6 games, and none of them are that great. They all feel better on the Wii. But like, it is my favorite 6 out of 10 ever. The memories I have with Switch Sports is crazy. Assassin's Creed New Horizons, one of the greatest.
Assassin's Creed?
Somebody said Assassin's Creed earlier in the chat. Animal Crossing New Horizons, one of the best games ever. Got people through the pandemic. Like, literally shouldered that. The Doom and Animal Crossing art was awesome.
This is going to be tough.
That's going to be a fun one. Probably going to be a poll. This whole side is like, there's only one obvious matchup, and then it's a conversation outside of it. Celeste versus Splatoon 3. Have you played any Splatoon 3?
Yeah, a ton.
Yeah, like I love Splatoon 3.
It's great. Celeste is one of the best platformers of all time. Like I think it's a 10. Special game, just really emotional and impactful. Just it's a testament to like how you can reinforce story with gameplay and like mix those two, and like it's it's what video games is all about to me. Like the mix of story and gameplay and how they can bounce off of each other and impact each other and really hammer home certain points, I think is so impressive. And Celeste is one of the best examples of that. And then it's also just a fucking amazing game.
Yeah, I think that the platforming alone makes this game amazing, great, like just an all-timer. And then when you had something like the story, you're like, okay, this is reinforced, like you said, by the gameplay. Super impressive.
Yeah.
And that emotion that you're getting by climbing this mountain and the story that it's trying to tell is just, once again, reinforced even more by music that is so fucking next level that it's an all-timer.
I'm going home and playing Splatoon 3, though. This just, like, sparked in my mind. Yeah. Like, dude, I fucking love Splatoon. Like,
it's so good.
It's so fun and, like, casual enough that, like, you don't need to sweat. But if you do want to sweat, like, it has that option. And, like, it's just such an interesting and cool idea as a whole concept of like the turf war aspect of you're always doing something in that game. Whereas like in other shooters, you have to find the person and then go shoot them. It's like, even if you're not actively fighting somebody, you are filling out the map. You are taking space. And I think that's a really interesting like gameplay like concept of like, you're always having fun. You're never not doing something in Splatoon 3, which I really like. Yeah.
All right, moving on. We have Fire Emblem Three Houses versus Jamboree. I'm going to... I will never touch Fire Emblem Three Houses. Mario Party Jamboree, I think, is a great game. But I think that the way that you talk about Three Houses...
Yeah, Three Houses is way better. Like, Three Houses is special. And I think that it does borrow a lot of ideas from its contemporaries with its different, like, teaching aspects and, like, character relationship stuff and, like, leveling that up, like, in Persona. But I think for what it presents and how it tells its story with the three different story paths and the combat, like I really do love this like tactical combat. Super fun game. Love me some Fire Emblem Three Houses.
But shout out to Jamboree. That is, in my opinion, the second best probably Switch Mario Party, if not the best. It is great.
There's only 3 of them, Nick.
But
it's the second best. You're like talking of like there's 10 of them.
Yeah, like it's been a long running series.
It's second last.
I honestly think it's an interesting spot because I played a lot of Mario Party, played some GameCube Mario Party, played just way too much Mario Party in my life, and I think it's probably the 4th best Mario Party ever. Like I think it's behind Superstars and then I think it's behind 2 and 3. Like it is up there in that.
There's a shocking amount of good ass Mario Party. I feel like we talked about Mario Party as the series on decline for a long time because Super Mario Party was a letdown, and then you also have like Mario Party 10, which sucked. But like up through 7, it was really good, really solid to varying degrees, but always good, always good shit.
I want to shout out Chili Ponies. Hot take: Splatoon soundtrack goes harder than Celeste. It's pretty great, but I wouldn't say it goes. I wouldn't say it goes harder, but it's pretty great.
Super Mario Odyssey versus Astral Chain. We're going Odyssey there. I've barely touched Astral Chain, but like, come on.
Now an interesting one: Zelda Echoes of Wisdom versus Violet and Scarlet. Pokemon Violet and Scarlet. Is Echoes of Wisdom a better game? Yes. All right, let's move it on.
I actually here's what I want to do.
You want to put it to a poll?
I want to put it to a poll just because
that's the hard part there.
I don't have experience with Scarlet and Violet.
Yeah, but I like my experience is watching a lot of broken ass.
Yeah, but people like it.
I know they do.
Like it's going to lose. Either one of these is going to lose Odyssey. So it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. I want the people to have their choice. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, we're gonna need to do another poll right after that.
Yeah, do we have someone available to run polls at this point or
I don't
not?
think we do.
All right, that's fine. That is the definition of we're gonna need to run a poll. The technical issues alone make Echoes better. I feel like there's enough people saying Echoes, and I don't see a single person saying Scarlet and Violet to move it on. Yeah,
let's do it.
All right, Echoes is moving on.
And we already got our Pokemon rep over on the.
It's it's going all the way, Connor. It's going all the way. It's gonna be Breath of the Wild for sure. Connor, tell the people what is up next and what they're gonna be voting on because these are 2 franchises that we are not too familiar with.
We have Xenoblade Chronicles 3 versus Pikmin 4. I know that people absolutely adore the Xenoblade Chronicles series, and I think that 3 is considered the second best behind 1, but I think most people like all of them for the most part, which is crazy because like this is a series that started on the Wii. Then you just had Xenoblade Chronicles X getting ported over from the Wii U, the black sheep of the series that people often forget. Of course, I just recently bought Xenoblade Chronicles X on the Wii U right before it was announced to get ported to the Switch because that's just my life. That's how things work for me for some reason. But then you have Pikmin 4, which is another great entry in a long-running series that like just kind of keeps trucking along. One of the more unique game types on the Switch, one of the more unique game types, period, in video games.
Yeah.
But I would say that from my understanding, Pikmin 4 is a lot of just more of the same. Like a lot of people think Pikmin 3, I think, is the best one. So it's an interesting back and forth here.
Centro has the comment that I'm going to read out for this one as this poll finishes up. Pikmin is a genre-defining game in the Pikmin genre. Like it's true though. It's its own thing almost.
These are both great games, as far as I understand it.
Yeah,
I've played a bit of Xenoblade Chronicles 1 and 2. I've not touched 3. I've played Pikmin 1. I've not touched 4.
Xenoblade wins, and Matt Lucid is somewhere fist pumping. He's like, whew, every single time,
punching the air. But like in a good way. Mario Kart 8 versus Snipper Clips. Shout out to Snipper Clips. A great underrated indie title that helped the launch of the Switch. Great co-op experience. Me and my wife played it together, laughing, having a good time. Solving puzzles, but Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is like one of the best games ever made. So.
An all-time kind of funny stream right there. Snipper Clips, well blindfolded. Good stuff right there.
That's funny.
Tears of the Kingdom vs. Mario Rabbids.
Sparks of Hope.
Sparks of Hope. Are we not Kingdom Battle? We're not going to battle the Kingdom?
Sparks of Hope, I think, is considered the better one. So
is that the newer one?
Yeah.
I feel like the older one got better reviews.
I think it got better reviews because it was a new thing.
Yeah.
And this was just kind of more of the same.
Speaking of which, though, Tears of the Kingdom is moving on because it's one of the greatest games of all time. TOTK is Tears of the Kingdom. Big Mac, can you run polls?
Yes, I think that is what has been said. There we go. Thank you, Big Mac. Appreciate you.
My knees can't handle it.
You got to stop using the big part of the marker. You have to use the tip.
Why?
Because it looks better, and we're working with very little space.
Oh, Connor, I wanted girthy, all right? I know. Why do you suggest the tip when we can get it nice and girthy?
Stop talking.
What are we talking about right now? All right, Connor, one last matchup. Metroid Dread, which is considered one of the best Metroid titles of all time, versus Octopath 1. I feel like this is a poll.
We can put it to a poll, but I think it's going to go to Metroid Dread. Probably.
Okay, that's
like
fair.
Almost.
Wait, so are you not even going to fight for Octopath?
I like Octopath quite a bit, but it's not better than 2.
So my experience with both these games are both just the music. And Metroid Dread's music is better.
Yeah.
So I'm fine with it moving on. But yeah, that's where I'm at. Do we want to go and put this one to a poll, though?
No, let's just go Metroid
Dread.
Yeah.
Great. Connor, let's talk about two of the greatest open world games of all time. All right. Arceus is kind of, but yeah.
All right. We have Breath of the Wild versus Pokemon Legends Arceus. This is an easy dub here. We're gonna go with Breath of the Wild, of course. I think.
You sure?
Yeah, my favorite.
You sure? Wait, Connor, are you sure about that?
I think. Yeah.
Yeah, we can do Breath of the Wild. That's fine. It's close.
Kirby and the Forgotten Lands versus Link's Awakening. This is a poll.
Yeah,
every day of the week.
This is literally.
I haven't played enough of Kirby to really have much of an opinion on it. So let's get Kirby and the Forgotten Land versus Link's Awakening in the chat. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate versus Hollow Knight.
I think we're both on the same side of this.
It's got to be Ultimate.
Yeah, Smash Ultimate is a better game.
Smash Ultimate is like a 9, maybe a 10 out of 10. And if you can make an argument for it. Hollow Knight, in my opinion, solid 8, great game, at least in the base game. I can't speak for the DLC. I don't know if that would change anything, but I'm just taking the game as it is. Hollow Knight, great Metroidvania, great art style, great world. The benches are too gosh darn far apart. It's kind of frustrating in that way. Not hard enough. The base game is way too easy in my opinion.
Yeah. So. How long did it take you to beat? Like 27 hours ish around there?
Less than that.
Less than that. Also, though, you had a guide, like by a
Shout
chat.
out Drifter.
Shout out Drifter. Oh man, you want to know what I just remembered we get to do today?
What?
We have a Q&A later today. I'm so excited. Those are always so much fun.
Hades versus Animal Crossing New Horizon. Every
Nailed
single
it.
time he does it,
Killed
I'm
it.
afraid he's gonna mess up the song.
Oh my god. Why don't you play the Xenoblade games? 100%.
I would, yeah, I would really like to at some point. It's just one of those situations where it's not immediately gripping to me at all. That combat, there's so much to the combat as far as I understand that like it needs to get me more engaged, and I just haven't gotten engaged by one of the games yet.
Good night, Charpachi, 1. And 2, Connor, here's the thing. We've already said many times, when I go full time with the company, doing Persona 5 all in one stream, what would it take for you to do all 3 Persona or all 3 Xenoblade games in one stream?
I don't know. That would be interesting.
It would be a hell of a week of content.
How long is that? It's 300 hours probably?
Yeah.
Are they like 100 hours? That might be
Xenoblade 3 is long.
Yeah.
I don't know about the first 2, but I know Xenoblade 3 is long. When I was looking back at like 2022 Game of the Year stuff from different companies and everything, Xenoblade 3 is long, dude. It's crazy. Link's Awakening
moving on over Kirby and the Front Line. And can we get Hades versus Animal Crossing New Horizon, please?
Yeah, that's probably the right move. It's got to be Animal Crossing, but that's probably the right move. It should be Animal Crossing, but that's the right move. This is one of those you got to cover your ass because you don't want to speak out of turn.
I would place money that Hades is going to win this.
Yeah, which is just wild.
No, I don't really disagree fully. Like I said, I'm not the roguelike guy, but Animal Crossing New Horizons for me is too far of a step in one direction.
Okay.
And there's other aspects that I don't like about it. Why can you only upgrade the shop once? For Nook's Cranny in Animal Crossing New Horizons.
I don't know.
One of my favorite parts of New Leaf was spending money and having the store eventually upgrade. When that fucking shop shut down and there was like the construction on the outside, I was like, yes, there's going to be more stuff for me to buy. It's going to be so fun. And you can only do that once in this game. It's so weird.
Animal Crossing sold like 50 million copies.
I don't give a shit how much it's sold. I'm just talking about how good the game is.
Connor, yeah, no. Fast 10 also made like $1 billion, and that's wild.
Celeste versus Fire Emblem 3 Houses. Fuck! We have to go with Celeste.
Yeah, you gotta go with Celeste here. But like, for you, Connor, personal list. If you were to do like, if this was a tier list and everything, where would you put Fire Emblem 3 Houses
for a
tiers?
tier?
Yeah, if you were to put it in a tier. A tier, where would you put Celeste?
Celeste is S tier.
There we go. That's. I was just curious. I'm not trying to like make a case or anything, but yeah.
There we go. Animal Crossing came at the best time, for sure. 100%.
That is one of those things that I'm like.
It was a moment.
It was destiny.
Everyone was inside, and they were like, "We need this."
It was kismet, Connor. It was. All right.
Odyssey versus Echoes. Odyssey every day.
Odyssey moves on, and now we're gonna get to the start of the Clash of the Titans, dude. It's gonna be crazy.
This is how this seems like it was always gonna go. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Writing was on the wall. The fun part of this bracket too is the Switch is over. Like, we're not getting any more games.
Metroid Prime 4.
Yes. I also think that's a Switch 2 game. And we don't know what
next year.
I think that's a Switch 2 game.
Maybe. We don't know what next year holds. They're not announcing it now. Like, they're not announcing it in 2024, so it gets announced in 2025. I think this is a November console.
I think it's I could see it being a fall console for sure.
They need to release games next year, Nick, for the console.
That's a good point. It's a good point.
Like, I think they're going to release stuff that we
here's
don't know
the thing,
about.
though. They know that the moment that they say, hey, we're moving on to the next generation, it's over. You can't like start releasing a bunch of games, especially major first party titles. And so as we are now in a 4-month period, we're going to see this console, 5-month period, sorry. In the next 5 months, we will see what this console is. It will get announced, and that is going to be the end of it. We know Pokemon Legends Arceus Legends ZA is next year, the pizza game. We know Metroid is next year, and then you got to assume Mario game's next year.
Animal Crossing, 71%.
That's what I'm talking about. Mainly, I wanted it just because I think that is such a fun and interesting matchup. Yeah, I mean, Ultimate versus, I agree, but like,
the one thing I would say about the Switch, cannibalizing the Switch 2 sales or whatever, or vice versa, that they announced the backwards compatibility, and I think that saves that for them.
Oh, for software, it does.
I guess for console
sales.
Yeah,
it's console sales that makes it interesting.
All right, let's move on to Xenoblade Chronicles 3 versus Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I think this is something that we could put it to a poll, and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is going to win, and that's what I would pull for. So my issue is
Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is a game that basically is my champion through this. I don't want to get bounced through a poll when we both want it over it.
I would prefer it. And then Tears of the Kingdom over Metroid Dread. That is.
Yep. Oh my god. Fuck me, dude. That's my final. That's 1 and 2 for me on the Switch. Nice. In the Elite 8. Fuck, dude. That's awful.
Breath of the Wild versus Link's Awakening. This is cake. Breath of the Wild.
Yes. That I'm upset that I didn't like look at the bracket before we made it and everything and made sure that those two were on opposite sides, because that is my final. That is my 1-2 on the Switch.
Ultimate versus Animal Crossing New Horizons.
Smash Ultimate. Smash Ultimate is, in my opinion, the third best game on the Switch. So we're gonna have a conversation, y'all.
Odyssey over Celeste.
No.
Yeah.
This is gonna go to a poll then. I think Celeste is a better game than Odyssey. I have them both as 9s out of 10s. I think they're both amazing games, but Odyssey is just pure fun. It's magic. Celeste makes me feel things that like is just like it makes you feel things. Yeah. That's the whole whole part of it.
Let's do it. Let's do
you want to do Celeste over Odyssey?
I kind of flood my own thought process on it because I do think Celeste is a 10, and I think Odyssey is up there, but it's not even my favorite Mario game. So like,
let's go, dude. Yeah, come on. What's your favorite Mario? Oh, it's 64.
64, yeah.
Because you got taste.
Odyssey. Sorry, guys.
Yeah. Oh, first time chat. Odyssey. There we go.
My bad. It is what it is, though.
Yeah. No. Celeste though is like. I beat Odyssey.
It's a perfect platformer. It is a perfect.
I don't think it's perfect
platformer,
but dude. I think it's phenomenal.
Sound, visuals, story, platforming. What more do you want from a video game?
The platforming as the levels progress get a little bit repetitive. You're not getting like a bunch of new moves every time.
But its brevity makes up for that. It doesn't overstay its welcome. Like
that's a good point.
By the time you're getting to the end, you're getting like it's mixing all of them together, and it's fun. Like,
I just don't think that it's like the greatest shit ever. You know, I love it as a platformer, but I don't think that when you're talking about 2D platformers and everything, I think that you can look at older Marios, and then when you're talking about the 3D space, I think that Super Mario 64 and Astrobot are better platformers. Yeah. I don't think it reached that height. And then the question comes: can a 2D platformer reach the heights of a 3D platformer? I don't know. That's not what this debate is.
You can't get as creative with the 2D, generally speaking. But even with that, like it leaves less opportunity for them to mess anything up. And I think that's what Celeste is. It doesn't fucking mess anything up. It does everything excellently. So.
All right, we have the two best Switch games next. Just like definitively the two best Switch games.
I want to put this to a poll, but we're gonna agree.
No,
so
no, I
want to see what the people say.
Where are you at with this?
Mario Kart 8, easily. Yeah. Mario Kart 8 is like is a game of all time. You know what I mean?
It's 96 courses.
It's the best racing game ever.
Yeah.
When it comes to the amount of content, it is laughable how many fucking courses are in this game, how robust this game is, how replayable this game is. Yeah. This is a game that I've been playing since 2017 every year. Like, I can't say that for almost any other game on the Switch. I play it constantly.
This is a game I've been playing since 2014. Every year.
Like
every fucking year. I remember being over David Wilson's and just playing this till all night, trying to fucking take down Owen Nolt in Sunshine Airport. We did 90 races and we finally took the motherfucker down. It was the greatest moment of my life.
And Tears of the Kingdom is excellent.
It's the second best Switch game.
It's not as special as Breath of the Wild.
It is. The only thing that Breath of the Wild has over it is this random special that I kind of understand.
It did it first. It created a genre, basically.
No.
Yes.
No.
Nick.
I know.
The lack of direction, open world, is pioneered by Breath of the Wild.
I understand.
That is how we get Elden Ring.
I know.
Like, you need to understand that it has major influence, and it has major influence, of course, on the sequel. And in that moment of experiencing this world for the first time,
it's special.
Is dampened, completely removed from Tears of the Kingdom. It is, and the underground area is not interesting in Breath of the Wild. In Tears of the Kingdom, the up in the sky stuff is not as robust as you would like. So at the end of the day, you're dealing with the same map. For the most part.
Okay, it is different enough. It is a step up, in my opinion.
It is different,
but
it's
the
not
thing
enough.
that makes Tears of the Kingdom better than Breath of the Wild is the abilities. The abilities in that game are the best gameplay. They're some of the best gameplay abilities ever. Dude, Ascend breaks my brain. I just want to fucking go upstairs and then it's fucking awesome. Master Hand is one of the most creative and fun. I fucking hate crafting games, Connor, and I love crafting in this game.
The thing with Ascend, Revali's Gale that they removed from Breath of the Wild from Tears of the Kingdom that lets you just shoot up. It's like the same fucking thing.
Yeah, but it's better. It's because you're going through substance.
No, I think it's cool. I think it's really interesting. And don't get me wrong, but like for me, like I think the abilities in Breath of the Wild probably weaker than the abilities in Tears of the Kingdom.
Yes.
But they're just different. They're not like so lesser that like they're not even like worth like experiencing anymore. People are like, oh, well, Tears of the Kingdom totally wipes Breath of the Wild from like existence. It's like, why would you ever play Breath of the Wild again? It's because it has different mechanics completely. Solving puzzles with bombs and like stasis and stuff like that is a different
it's different type of puzzle. It's a different type of puzzle, but I'm just saying that there are though in Breath of the Wild, or sorry, in Tears of the Kingdom, there are the hey, I'm solving this by arrows and I'm solving this with my sword and such that are just like basic shrines to do, which are fun and feel similar to the mechanics of Breath of the Wild. But the gas here is the master hand. It is the best of the best. But it's gone now. It's fucking out of here. Let's get a poll up just for funsies on it.
I think we got one, right?
Already for MK8 versus Tears of the Kingdom?
Yeah. Which game is better? How do we see that?
Go to manage polls in the bottom right.
Okay. Keep talking to people.
So next up, Final Four. The Final Four in the Switch games bracket is Breath of the Wild, Smash Bros. Ultimate. That is how you have to see the poll to view the results.
Tears of the Kingdom 1 is what
Breath of the Wild, Smash Ultimate, Celeste, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. And
Tears with 73% of the vote over Mario Kart. Sorry, guys. Is what it is.
I think Mario Kart 8 is an all-timer. For me, it's like, I don't know. Connor and I were talking about this of like me ranking games the other day and just like trying to like actually format some of my thoughts because I feel like I get asked a lot of questions about which game's better and I don't know the answer. So I was just trying to get some listings going. I don't know where I have Mario Kart 8 on just like in general in my mind. I would probably give it a 9.5 because I don't have it as a 10, but it's like, how do I not give it a 10?
Yeah, I don't know where I would have it either. It's very close to a 10.
Yeah, like it's difficult.
It's the best racing game of all time.
That and Forza,
but it's still a racing game.
That and Forza 5 are both 9.5s for me in my mind, but like it's really difficult. Here we go. The final four. We have Breath of the Wild, Smash Bros. Ultimate, Celeste, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. And this is where get your polls ready because Connor and I are going to disagree on all of it.
It's Breath of the Wild.
I disagree. I would have Smash Bros. Ultimate.
That's crazy talk, Nick.
Connor, 100 fucking stages, almost 100 characters. This is the ultimate fighting game. It's not the ultimate Smash Bros. It is the ultimate fighting game. It is the greatest fighting game of all time. The mechanics are pristine. It is perfect for the casual gamer and the most experienced fighting game person of all time. This is the ultimate fighting game. Period. But it should just be called Ultimate. There should be no Smash Bros. It should just be called Ultimate because it might be the ultimate game of all time. The casual nature of it, plus the amount of content, is the most replayable games ever. Breath of the Wild, you haven't been back to in forever. Your wife goes back to it to go and like complete all the shrines and everything. Guess what? She's done. She's over it. You want to know what you can play forever? Smash Ultimate. You and me on the couch. We can be having beverages until we're 75 years old. Play Smash Ultimate. They should never make another Smash game ever again because Smash Ultimate.
Here's the thing with like the replayability aspect. I do think that is a factor, I guess, but like I don't think you can really hold that against Breath of the Wild. That's not what it's trying to do.
I understand.
You know what I mean? But like it's trying to be a tailored, fucking excellent open world experience, and it defined a genre. It revitalized a genre that had just become fucking checkbox map marker slop for over a decade at that point. Yeah. Ubisoft, Far Cry, garbage. And Breath of the Wild said, no. We're going to do something fucking different and reinvent the wheel here. And it's already paying dividends. I don't want it to pay more dividends. Like, the fact that Breath of the Wild did this and everybody isn't fucking copying it is crazy to me.
Yeah.
Like, this is great open world game design.
Well, Connor, you got your wishes. Breath of the Wild moved on.
There we go.
Over Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. I'm just happy I got to say my piece on it because this is my if I had my druthers, it would be Ultimate in the finals against MK8 probably, but I would have Tears of the Kingdom versus.
Do we need to talk about this here?
I'm Mario Kart 8.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, we're both Mario Kart 8 over Celeste, which is, I know, wild. Mario Kart 8 is the same thing as Ultimate. These are the games of all time, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like, these are the reason that the Switch is so fucking good is replayability. Being with your friends on the couch, having fun, making memories. It's what games are all about. I think the Nintendo Switch is what games are all about in general. And when I think of the Switch, I know that the Breath of the Wild is magical. I know Tears of the Kingdom magical. Celeste and Odyssey also have a similar magic. But when I'm talking about just dumping hundreds of hours into sitting on the couches with friends, where it is not even about the game at a certain point, it is about shooting the shit and talking about football the next day. It is Mario Kart 8 and it's Smash Ultimate. That would be probably my finale. But here we have in the finale, Breath of the Wild versus Mario Kart 8. Connor, where are you at?
It's Breath of the Wild.
I disagree, and you disagree too. Your top 50 list has Mario Kart 8
right next to each other.
Breath of the Wild.
Right next
but
to
you
each
have
other.
it over, Connor. But you have it over.
They're right next to each other.
I'm not trying to use your own argument against you, but I'm just saying we had a long, robust list where you were deciding what is the greatest game of all time, and I did not have a say in that list other than being like, yeah, that list makes sense. And you chose that Mario Kart 8 is a better game because you know it's true. This game is a game of all time. Breath of the Wild, a phenomenal game. I'm not going to take anything away from Breath of the Wild. It's fucking the best in the Zelda series, probably for a lot of people. Mario Kart 8 is the game of all time. It is the best game on the Switch. I will never, ever, ever have better memories than getting out of class at 11 p.m. or a.m. and then playing Mario Kart 8 until 11 p.m. and then going out to bars and having a great time, because you can just do that for hours. The amount of races in this game is silly. Connor, I want to take you back. I want to paint a little word picture for the audience.
I want to take you for a ride.
Where we go, and it is a Nintendo Switch Direct. We're hanging out. It's you, me, Shane, Chase. And we're just sitting there. It's bright and early in the morning. And all of a sudden, Nintendo does one of the most ridiculous things, one of the most weird Nintendo decisions ever, where they release DLC for a game that is like 8 years old at that point from the Wii U, and we're just like, no fucking way. And then we're like, oh, we see 1 or 2 maps, we're like, oh, that's really exciting. And you say it's gonna be 8 maps, and I say in that reaction it's gonna be 8 maps, and then Chase says it's going to be 8 maps, and then it's 48 maps. That doesn't make sense, Connor. And then for 2 more years they just drip fed us more and more content. It's like what Astrobot is doing right now, where like weekly we're just getting a little bit of spice, but it's 8 maps at a time. Then you already pay for Nintendo Switch Online, so you're just getting more of this fucking awesome game. Mario Kart 8 is one of the most special games of all time. It is one of the games of all time. It is the best game on the Nintendo Switch.
Yeah. Yeah. Here's the argument that I would make. I think on paper, pound for pound, when it comes to its innovation and when it comes to how special it is, Breath of the Wild has it on top.
Okay.
But
that's fair. I will agree with that. Yeah.
But Mario Kart 8 has just persisted in my life for so long now and is so good at what it's trying to do. But at the end of the day, it's a racing game. That's the deciding factor for me, that it's difficult to really decide here. I think we got to put it to a poll.
No, you're on this. You're both on this side, Connor. We are the masters of our own fate. You just wanted to go to the people just because you want. You know it's true that, like, yeah, we can sit down, and if we were to make a list and we just want to be everyone's friend, you want to know what would be at the top of the list? Breath of the Wild. You want to know what number 2 would be? Mario Odyssey. You want to know what number 3 would be? Tears of the Kingdom. That's Metacritic. That is IGN. That is not us. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is the best game on the Nintendo Switch. We both know it to be true, and that's why it should be there.
Yeah. Okay. I can agree with it. I have it on my list. I have it high on my list.
I knew. I woke up this morning, chat, and I was feeling dangerous. I literally was like, I went to the top 50 and I scrolled, and I just wanted to double check that you had it over Mario Kart 8 over Breath of the Wild, because I had a feeling we would be here. I was hoping that this wouldn't be the finale. Obviously, for me, number 1 game on the Switch is Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Number 2 is Tears of the Kingdom, and number 3 is Smash Ultimate. That's where I stand with the Nintendo Switch. Probably number 4 for me is Celeste. So I got a lot of what I wanted.
This is a great Final Four. I think Odyssey is the odd man out here.
Would you put Odyssey over Ultimate?
I would put if Odyssey was on this side of the board, it would if it was in this quadrant.
Yeah.
It would be Breath of the Wild, Odyssey. I guess Breath of the Wild, Odyssey,
Celeste, Mario Kart 8. That's what you're saying. What do you have Celeste versus Ultimate? Where are you at there?
I would have Celeste.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, like, Ultimate, as somebody that has now like gotten into fighting games, and that has become something that like I actually enjoy. It's almost like Final Fantasy. Where I'm like, oh, I'm never going to get into Final Fantasy. That's too much. And now it's something I love. Smash Ultimate was my gateway into the fighting game community, into the fighting game world, and it is like become some of my favorite shit ever. I love it. Are the people upset?
Yeah,
I'm not looking at
upset.
chat.
I mean, like, it's fine. Like, we've done this before. We know how this goes. This is our bracket. It's not the people's bracket.
Yeah.
The people are there to decide when we fully disagree. But I don't disagree that Mario Kart 8 is a better game than Breath of the Wild.
Yeah,
necessarily.
Once
Mario
again,
Kart 8 is essentially perfect.
But
Breath of the Wild has problems. We could talk about the weapon durability. We could talk about the weather system. Like, there's stuff that people can point to. We can talk about the dungeons not being as good as you would like them to be. Like, there's aspects of Breath of the Wild that you could point to and be like, eh. But with Mario Kart 8, where's the fucking hole? Where's the hole that you would poke in it?
I can put one hole in it, and it is the annoying fact that online right now there's always a meta. And that's just annoying.
Well, that's
the way
the case
that
with every fucking competitive game. You can ruin it with any. You can ruin any game with that.
Not like the best fighting games out there. Not the like there are competitive.
Well, with Smash, there's usually like a meta.
There's S tier characters, and maybe a character does get banned from competitive play every now and then. But they do try to balance it in a way where you understand that you're going to be on an even playing field with somebody. They're going to try to give you options. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe doesn't really give that, and the online is a little bit trash. That is honestly that's why it's not a 10 out of 10 for me. Is the online play is just not perfect.
Allie points out this is the third time a Zelda game or Zelda as a franchise has gotten second place. It always is the bride to be.
Zelda is a
the
top 3, top 5 franchise of all time, and is phenomenal. And I can give real quick that if a normal bracket, if you were to say what is the best Switch game of all time, it is between, for a lot of people, 2 games: Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. And that is the end of the fucking conversation. And I love that conversation. They're both phenomenal games, and they deserve all the flowers in the world.
We're talking about Titans here, dude.
If you were to make if GQ were to do another top 100 games right now, where like they go and poll the entire games industry, Breath of the Wild was like number 2 on that list. If they were to redo it, it would be Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom both in the top 10.
Yeah.
Period, bar none. My thing is, this game does not only not get enough love, this game doesn't make sense. There's a reason it sold 7 million copies, and I know that we're 70. Not talking. What did I say? 70.
7. Oh, you said 7. It sounded like you said 7.
7. Yes, like 70 million copies.
Yeah, it's one of the best selling games of all time. Which I don't like using as an argument, but it does give some credence.
No,
to
it's not about
popularity,
the credence.
At least.
Because it's so much fucking fun, everyone needs to play it. And you want it all the time. It's the ultimate couch game. I firmly believe that. Like, I think about my gaming memories and our gaming history at this point. I think of playing this Mario Kart 8 Deluxe with Matt Lucid. I think about playing Mario Kart 8 Deluxe with my roommates in college. I think about going down to the floor of Bama Shore with you and Brady and your guys' wives, and then late night playing that. And like, there's so much fun where any and every time we pull out the Switch, you want to play Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Yeah. I have had moments. I want to get back to Tears of the Kingdom like a motherfucker. I love this game, but there's a reason that when I open the Switch and we're all hanging out, I'm like, oh, let's play some Mario Kart because it's awesome.
I just wanted to be done with Tears of the Kingdom by the end of it. I was ready to just finish it. You know, I loved it.
That's kind of where I'm at with it though too, where I just kind of want to see it through. But yeah.
I will say, this is what we're gonna cut here.
Yeah. So we're gonna cut. The next time you guys see us, we'll be talking about some reviews. All right.
Cool. All right. Back in, let's talk about Call of Duty Black Ops 6. Nick, give me your review of this massive title for Xbox and Activision.
Yeah, this is Xbox's first like huge game with Activision. Obviously, Diablo and that partnership now like persists when that's Blizzard and everything. Black Ops 6 is a great game. That's just the end of the statement. It is a great game. It is Black Ops 6, great. 8 out of 10 is what I would give it on our scale. But we're not going to do like a full formal review. We're just going to back and forth shoot the shit. Connor's going to ask me some questions. But the thing that I need to first start out with is this campaign's a must play. If you have Game Pass, this is like one of the best campaigns on Game Pass. Period. Bar none. Like, 8 is fucking awesome. It reminds me of the best parts of the Mission Impossible franchise. I feel like I'm playing a Mission Impossible movie, and it does not stop. Like, it doesn't let off the gas almost ever. The reason that I wouldn't give this like a 9.5 or a 10 is there's an open world-ish section, and it does in the campaign where it lets off the gas a little bit. Where
open world is
like there's like an open map, do a mission there or do a mission there. There's 3 objectives you have to do, and then everything else is
interesting
choice. And yeah, there's
how
like something you can do.
The story is that
it's about halfway, and that's the worst part. Where it's like you're halfway through, you're cruising. Like the first few missions are all awesome. You played a couple of the first few missions. I
played the first two.
Yeah.
Or like the first two that you pick off the board.
Yeah.
And there's like an intro mission.
Yeah, those are the first couple main missions. Like, those are set piece missions. They're
fucking awesome so far. The only issue I have with it is that the first two had stealth aspects in it, and it was like the first time I was like, "Oh, this stealth is really cool," and then it had me doing it again in the second one. I was like, I kind of just want to shoot shit.
Yeah.
Right
well, trust me, the something that I think they do really well is different environments. So this is the globetrotting adventure. You are going to random places around the world, but it's also different gameplay mechanics that like. Some missions are stealth and you are just going through these environments trying to shoot no one. Some of them are you're going in guns blazing. You're trying to like just shit's going everywhere. Some of them are based off of not just like straight up missions, but it might be a heist. It might be an escape route. It might be like just random cool ideas. The way that I think that this team did it and did it very well was they looked at a board and they were just like, okay, how can we make the coolest Mission Impossible movie without redoing mechanics from any Mission Impossible movie? Like, they really focused on being like, okay, Mission Impossible, really cool franchise, but we've seen the train sequence at this point. We've seen the crazy Halo jump. How can we make it cool in our own way with high budget action set pieces? And it delivers the goods. It just does not stop the entire time. Yeah. And then there is a mission in this game, and it has been brought up by IGN and Polygon, like, by many, many providers as one of the best missions this year. It's very akin to the Remedy universe that's happening right now with Control and Alan Wake. And the only word I can use for it is it's a masterpiece. Like, this mission, in my opinion, is creativity to the highest degree. The fact that this isn't a Call of Duty game is fanciful to me. I'm like, how did this fucking exist? That's like you breakdancing. Like, those two things just don't like compute or make sense. But if you start busting a move, I'm like, okay, go Connor. That's what I'm doing with this game right now as this mission is playing out. I'm just like, all right, go Call of Duty, let's go. Like, it is so freaking cool. Like, I can't believe that they pulled that off. I cannot wait for you to play it. And then during this mission, it's a mission where you go and are able to collect things in a certain order, and you can get lucky or unlucky, in my opinion, and collect the coolest one first. Like, they're all little different side missions. I got lucky. I collected the coolest one last, and there's a music cue with the last one that made me go in full body chills down to my toes. Like, I have not had that in a very long time in a game. It is one of the best experiences I've had this year outside of anything that I played in FF7 Rebirth. It might be the best experience I had this year, where I was just like, oh, they just fucking delivered the goods. This entire mission, it is so fucking top notch. It can't be, can it? Accuracy says. That's literally the exact moment I had where I was like, no, really? We're doing this? Come on. And I put the controller down and did a lap. Like, I was like, no, wrap it up. This shit's fucking awesome. It's so good. And then the nice part is, although you have that peak, that apex, that's not the only moment in the game where they get really creative. Like, there is a moment later in the game where it's like, oh shit, like, we're still doing different stuff. And like, once again, it's Call of Duty campaign. You just expect, at best, you're gonna have really cool action set pieces. You wouldn't expect them to go and get so deep in their bag when it comes to trying to expand what a Call of Duty campaign can be. So it's excellent. I freaking adore it.
Give Raven the keys to Call of Duty campaigns, period.
Yeah.
Just let them go balls to the wall. They're a long storied, really impressive developer, and they've been pushed down to support Call of Duty games for the last like decade. Like, let them go crazy with campaigns like this, and let them make something special. And clearly that's what they've delivered. Yeah. So
it's so special. I can't wait for Brady to beat this, because like when we're doing our top 10 list and everything, I'm giving this game an 8 out of 10, by the way. This is a great game for me. And you're like, oh, he's really high on it right now. How are we going to get like down? Because I would give the campaign a 9. I think the campaign is excellent. But for me, there's other modes in this game, so we'll talk about that in a moment. I can't wait for Brady to beat this campaign, because I think that for him, he will not have this on his top 10 list. And I think that when we're at the end doing our aggregate top 10, I could easily see it squeaking on there, which is a Call of Duty game.
I could definitely see this being in my top 10 for the year.
Yeah, well, that's 100%. Awesome.
I mean, just off of the multiplayer alone, like, but we have to take all the pieces of the pie into account here.
So the multiplayer is
great.
So to just finish out though the campaign, open world moment let off the gas a little bit, and that is a huge flaw with me where I'm like, this game is breakneck speed. Every single mission, it's a new environment, a new gameplay mechanic. Like I said, stealth sometimes, guns blazing sometimes. Every single set piece that they're trying to pull off, they pull it off somehow. I'm like, there's no way that they can actually like land the ship on this or keep this interesting the entire 45-minute mission duration or hour or 30 minutes. And every single time they do. And then the finale in this game is awesome. And they also get a little bit weird and they also get exciting. And it's like, you just did the whole damn thing, and it leaves the player with a fulfilled stomach at the very end of it, where you're just like, all right, that was great. Like that is exactly what I want from a COD campaign. I think that it will go down in history as one of the best COD campaigns. I think that this is a must-play Game Pass campaign. If you have Game Pass and you just like good video games, you should play this for sure.
Even if you're not a Call of Duty person.
Yeah, even if you're not a COD person. If you like shooting guns just in general, third person, first person, like large action adventure games, this is awesome. This is totally it for you. And then the last thing I'll say is the cast that you sort of build out. It starts out a little bit slow and it relies on a little bit of nostalgia with having somebody like Woods in the cast. But by the end of it, you feel like connected to the characters enough where you're just like, okay, like, yeah, this works.
Like
and it's solid.
So
yeah,
far.
like they're,
really have.
It's like, oh, like we got a little bit of a team. The nice part is I hope in the future they continue with this cast. They allow you to get to the Mission Impossible 2 and 3 moment where it's like, oh, they're showing back up again. And now we've done this song and dance a little bit more often. These voice actors know each other a little bit better. They're able to have a little bit more camaraderie in their line delivery and everything. I think that will hopefully be the next step for these campaigns. And I think where they leave the story off is like, yeah, we could see having a next step in this franchise go that way. So it's exciting stuff there. Campaign, excellent. Multiplayer, I'll give it an 8.5 out of 10. I'm having a blast with it. Like, that is just the underlying feature of this is Call of Duty, when it feels wrong, it feels really wrong. Yeah. You know when it's not fun.
Like the moment I picked up Infinite Warfare, knew immediately. Terrible. And I like the jetpack, jet boost, exosuit Call of Duty. I like Advanced Warfare just fine. But Infinite Warfare just felt wrong. Cold War, wrong. Like, just felt bad to me. Like, I did not like playing it. And that's the same developer, same studio.
I mean, Cold War for me was all right, but it was more the excitement of, hey, PS5 Call of Duty. That was the merge there that I just wanted to play. And I put in many hours into Cold War, way more than you would think from the quality of game it is. I think that game is all right. Like, okay, I would give it like a 6 out of 10 overall, where I'm like, I had my fun. Like, I had 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10 fun. But the product itself is a 6 out of 10. The time to kill, great. The fact that there isn't a meta, like a clear meta, early on, I understand that, yes, you're going to see a TikTok video out there that's going to be like, if you want the best meta to grind camos or to go and play on this map, do this. But the fact is that the casual player, who is me and the skill-based matchmaking that I'm facing against, I'm dying to SMGs, shotguns, ARs, sniper rifles, the whole suite, like LMGs, like, and that's what you want, where you don't want it to just be like, all right, let's just use this one gun and have to play a certain play style. It's like, no, play how you want to play. And the nice part is there are maps where I'm pulling out the shoddy Bugatti and having a great time with it. There are maps that I'm trying out an SMG. I'm using the default AR quite often because that's just my bread and butter at this point. And Daddy is really bad at sniping, so we don't touch that. We don't break out the big dogs. I feel like the sniper is the driver in golf, where it's just like, I'm an irons guy, okay? I just can't hit the big dog like I used to. But yeah, I'm having a great time with the weapon layout that they give us, the weapon suite that they give us, and I'm having a blast going through it, even switching up in the middle of multiplayer matches. But yeah, time to kill, great. Weapon selection, great. Maps, you got some highlights. There are some maps that are really freaking good. I love Skyline. I love the face-off maps, and like having that option of just pure chaos 24/7 is a lot of fun. I like Derelict, which is the train map. I know that some people don't. I think that the layout of it is really interesting. You have some smaller, like closed off angles. You have some wider sections. I like that there's different areas, and you can go and play in different play styles where you might have a sniper up top, way down in the map, shooting down the barrel of a closed off train, and well, you might have someone else in a more open area, cornered, posted up with a shotgun, and then you have people running around with SMGs and ARs. I like that map layout. But then there's issues like a map called Rewind, I believe, which is the Superstore. That map is too long for 6v6, and the time to like run in and like get back into the action, which this game does really well, of hey, you died, you're right back in the action, go and play. Even in the non face off mosh pit maps, it does poor. Like, it's not a huge map, it's just way too long. By square footage it's not huge, but it's way too long and removes you from the action.
That's
often.
how I feel about player card or red card,
I believe, which is the soccer map, which also similar issue. It's one of the worst maps in the game. I wouldn't say it's the worst, I would say Rewind is, but there's like 2 or 3 more that you can point out as like they didn't really they stepped to the plate, they swung and missed. It's all right, like you're gonna have those types of maps every now and then, but there are really great maps alongside it, and then the ones that are just all right are still so much fun because the gameplay itself carries. At the end of the day, there are maps that I'm like, this is not solid, but I'm still having a blast because everything else around it is really good. It's almost like you got a sandwich and like they accidentally put on a little bit too much of a secret sauce or a little bit too much mayo. Just like, I don't want that, but the rest of the sandwich is really fucking good, so I'm gonna rock with it. That is those mid maps, those mid-tier maps. Overall though, multiplayer, the amount of fun I'm having with the community night after night, like we had the conversation where it was like, oh, like let's do Dragon Age next week. Let's not worry about it this week. I was like, cool, my weekend's freed up. I'm playing COD with the community all weekend long. And sure as shit, we've been playing COD all weekend long. I've played like 8 hours of COD this weekend, or even more because I played like 5 hours of zombies yesterday morning too. Playing a lot of Call of Duty this weekend, and I'm having a blast with it. It feels like I'm 12 years old and playing Call of Duty. The multiplayer too, like the way that it feels. And once again, multiplayer, like you said earlier, it's all about feeling. It's all about just hopping in and knowing right away if it's good or not. I hopped in with our good buddy Sam, my childhood best friend, and he immediately was like, yeah, this is excellent. Like he could feel it be tight and great. And it's funny, even though he hasn't played a lot of CODs, he played Cold War with me, and he's like, yeah, this is a swing and a miss. And like, you can just tell if you're an old school player or even not somebody that plays COD too often, you know when it's good. And this is some good shit right here. I'm having a great time with it.
It's a great return to like casual Call of Duty, if that makes sense. When I play Call of Duty, like in the recent ones, it feels like I'm just getting absolutely dumpstered. A lot of sweats, a lot of people just like who like really are into the game, and it's really off-putting to me as somebody who's never been good at Call of Duty. Like, I've never had a good KD on console, but now playing on PC, which I prefer to play with mouse and keyboard personally, and with the skill-based matchmaking, which I know it's really controversial to a lot of people, but it's working for me in a way that I'm like, I feel like I'm not getting absolutely dumpstered, and I'm just having fun. It's casual. Like, that's how COD is supposed to be. They're like, you're popping in with 5 other friends, kind of having conversations throughout, but just shooting shit, winning close matches, and having fun. And that's what this is providing. Whereas, like, I think previous entries just were so off-putting to me in that way.
Connor, you say the word, we'll get the group stream logo up, and we'll play COD tonight. Like, I'm still, like, that's where I'm at with this game.
I have to play the campaign.
I know.
And I gotta play the PlayStation Vita, Nick.
Means life. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun hopping into the COD multiplayer. And now let's get to why this game is not going to go down in history as a top 5 Call of Duty, because I think that the campaign and the multiplayer would tee it up to be a grand slam of a Call of Duty, and that's just not this game because the zombies fall flat. It's not bad, and I want to say the Cold War zombies for me wasn't even bad. It's just okay, it's whatever. And this is better than Cold War zombies, don't get me wrong. Terminus is a more fun, more interesting, more in-depth map than the original map on COD, which was like half knocked, half a facility. But it's a similar vibe, but there's a little bit more sauce. There's just a tiny little bit more sauce on there, but it's not great. Liberty Falls is a ton of fun to just run around, shoot zombies, chill. It feels a little bit more like your town, a little bit more like your casual zombies map. But at the end of the day, there's no atmosphere in either map. There is no excitement. A core mechanic of zombies, in my opinion, is the scarcity, and how the scarcity in weapon pool and the scarcity of perks and resources you have in the earlier games goes and makes it a lot more rewarding when you do a box pull, or when you finally get Pack-a-Punch, or when you finally get Jug, compared to this where it's like, oh, I like am able to do a box pull and then I get a green AR, and I'm just like, I don't get excited about this in the way that I get excited when I pull a hammer in BO2, or I pull a Galil in BO1. Like, there's not that opportunity cost that allows me to be like, oh shoot, I might get a just ass weapon, but also I might get a goated ass weapon. It's like everything's kind of all right and usable. And obviously the focus in this game when it comes to the weapon layout is to allow you to upgrade your guns and get camos in multiplayer and really try to have it be this like two-way battle of like upgrading and everything, where you can upgrade in multiplayer for zombies and vice versa. But at the end of the day, let's remove church and state a little bit. Let's get those two modes away from each other and focus on zombies just being great. And because there's that merge, it loses the sauce. It loses a lot of the like fun that I want from a zombies experience. A lot of people are saying that this isn't BO3 zombies and that's why it's bad. It's not that it's not BO3 zombies and that's why it's bad. It's not BO3 zombies, and there's health bars, and there's a bunch of shit. BO2 had like uninteresting maps in my opinion for the first two maps. I think that Transit is like god awful and has plenty of fucking issues.
It's interesting though.
I sure it's interesting. There's some level of dynamics that like make it interesting, but the core mechanics in Transit are great still. Going and trying to get the pack-a-punch is rewarding. Going and finally getting the box because it's 5 stops away is rewarding.
Yeah.
There's not that sense of reward in this game.
I get the pack-a-punch like immediately in Terminus. I've only played it once.
Yeah.
Just initial impressions, I'm like, this is ass. Like, yeah. I know a lot of people will be like, you're just saying that because you just want BO3 again. And it's like, yes. It's hard for me to just take BO6 zombies as it is and not compare it to the past. It's impossible.
Yeah.
Like, this is trash in comparison to BO3. It is a cobbled together, copy and pasted zombies mode utilizing assets from other areas of Call of Duty. It's not what I want. Yeah. It's not what I think everybody wants. But taking it as it is, can you still have fun with it? Sure. I'm not trying to armor plate though. I'm not trying to like there's like swimming in the water to like go like unlock things. It's like I don't want to do any of this shit. Like I just want simplicity and I want style and creativity in zombies again. I don't want health bars. I don't want any of this shit. Like just strip it back. I feel like it would take almost less resources to just do that and make something smaller and more refined and interesting. And I feel like, what is the point? Who is this for? Yeah. Is my question. Is this for like the new gen that didn't grow up on BO3? Do they prefer this if you've played both of them? I don't know anybody. I don't know a single person who is playing BO6 zombies who wouldn't prefer it to be like BO3.
I agree.
That person doesn't exist.
The reason that I'm still around a 6 or a 6.5 when it comes to this mode is at the end of the day, it is really fun to shoot zombies with your friends. I know that is like a dumb way to go and review something where I just laid out why this doesn't work, right? But it is still fun to sit there and shoot zombies for a few hours. I'm listening to Min-Max Trivia Tower. I'm shooting zombies mindlessly. I'm having a fucking great time. I'm having a great time yesterday because it's just fun to shoot zombies. But from a critical standpoint, this is just like, what the fuck are we doing here? Like, and so I gave it a 6.5. I'm around that 6.5 area where I'm like, I played with a group of community members and we played Terminus. It was my first time playing that map. I had a great fucking time. We're laughing. We're joking around. We're shooting the breeze. I'm talking about the company. There's so much fun to be had in that game mode still, even when it's at its weakest. And that just means that the game mode is really fucking good in general. But it is a weak version of that game mode.
It's funny because my first time in, we all of us were not having fun immediately. Yeah. And it's like you said with multiplayer, like the second you get into it, that like this feels wrong, this feels right, and you pop in a Terminus and you're like, this is not good. This Connor, is not what I want.
I just like right now the thing that's playing in my head is the zombie music like goes and dips down and then it's the when you load into Shadows of Evil and it's just like dude. It's just like
memories, something that like imprints on you in your brain as like a core memory. Like I will always remember playing Shadows of Evil for the first time. Yeah. Like it was special, and we all fucking hated it. Yeah. Like everyone was like, "What the fuck is this?" And this is not going to age better. No. Like it's not like nobody played Cold War and was like, "No, in 5 years or like later on, we're gonna look back on this and really love this." Nobody's gonna remember Terminus. Like nobody. Yeah. Nobody's gonna remember Liberty Falls.
There's another map coming out later this year, and it's a castle. And the worst part is, I'm like, cool. this comparison, people are like, it's gonna be like DE. I'm like, look at DE. Look at how vibrant of a map that is. The blues and the oranges on that map, the blue of the snowy ice caps in the map in the castle itself, and then the fire orange of the bows and the fire coming out of the dog's mouths early on in that game are so fucking like, it's a lot. Like it's just so much, and you're just like, it's too much sauce. Literally too much sauce. They do not need to go that crazy, and they do. And then they did, and now it's one of the greatest. Like it's the greatest map of all time, and it's one of the greatest gaming experiences of all time for anyone to play. It made the mode amazing. Jason Blundell right now is working for PlayStation still, supposedly, even though Deviation Studios shut down. Blank check him. Give him all the fucking money in the world. BO4 Zombies, he's still led. And there's some decent shit there. 9 is a fun map. They went a little bit too far with it, but it's still a fun map. It still has the core sauce to it. This doesn't have it. Yeah, there's
no passion. There's no creativity here. And my biggest frustration is like, just take it in a vacuum and just look at BO6 Zombies for what it is.
Yeah.
And to that I say, fuck no. I'm not going to just ignore the past and like what was. Like, I want something from this. I'm the customer, and you're not delivering what I'm looking for, and that's frustrating. So I'm not going to just like, it is fun and mindless and stupid, but it's not like, it will never achieve those moments and memories that I had with BO3, BO2, and BO1.
Connor, there's an Italian restaurant that you, me, and our family have gone to for decades at this point. God. Decades. And it for a long time was where we had birthdays, where we met for Christmas with our family.
It was the best.
It was our favorite place in the entire world to get a veal Parmesan plate with some shells on the side, with the sauce, the red sauce that they had, the
pizza
marinara.
Pizza
for the table. You're having a couple slices. This was the ultimate meal. This is the best shit ever. By the way, I thought of this while I was at Starbucks, and I was like, this is the best example I can possibly ever give for this. It is the best meal ever. And
we've been going there since I was like born.
Yeah, our dad worked there when he was like 20. Like he knows the place well enough.
That, but I think he was in high school.
I just threw out an age. I knew that he wasn't old. But he goes, and we love this restaurant more than we love anything else. Like, genuinely, when I think about
this
food,
was family.
This was family. This is my favorite shit on the planet. And then, sadly, they got new ownership. Apparently now it's awesome. They fixed it. But before,
they fixed it.
Apparently, I talked to our cousin Cameron.
Allegedly,
it's not back to the GOAT. But they went from. This is what happened. Went from S tier sauce. It's all about the sauce. It's red sauce. All
about the sauce.
We would go and like they would bring out bread to like start out your meal, and we would look at the people and be like, "Hey, when you bring out the bread, like you're gonna do drinks right now. When you bring out the bread, we want 2 bowls of red sauce just to dunk and rip it.
So good.
It was so good. And so they got new ownership, and then the sauce recipe changed, and then the pizza also uses the new sauce too changed, and the veal changed.
And we went and we gave it a shot.
And it fucking was not the same, and it was also bad. Yeah. And there's such a difference between not the same and being all right, and not the same and being bad. And this is bad. Yeah. This is like, but and once again,
it's still Italian food.
It's still Italian.
It's still edible.
It's still Italian.
It's still like
still solid.
Somebody probably likes this, but you can't not compare it to the original recipe. You can't not, like, you're not gonna like take these memories away from me growing up on this amazing Italian food and replace it with something else and just be like, oh, but no, just talk about this. Just talk about what we're looking at right now.
I want to shout out Master Diz in our chat. Says, anyone keeping track of the amount of times Nick has said the word sauce during the stream? Black Ops Zombies, the number one word for terminology is sauce.
Yeah, but then we were using sauce for
that is true. We're dunking in the sauce. That's funny. But yeah, it's really sad to see where that game mode has gone. So I'm at the point where BO6 overall package, which that is what it's all about. It is the 3 phases of the game. You have your offense, you have your defense, and you have your special teams. And all of them, like you can win with special teams and you can lose with special teams. I think that is the campaign mode, where a lot of people sort of forget about it and push it aside. This is the Chargers, the opposite of the Chargers special teams, where like that special teams unit was like the 32nd, they were the number 1 offense and defense. They didn't make the playoffs. That's a whole story. But this is the good shit right here. Mm-hmm. This is the gas. 9 out of 10 campaign. 8.5 out of 10. Multiplayer 6.5 out of 10, maybe even 6. It's all right. It's always once again, I might sound really down on it. It is still fun to shoot zombies with your friends. I'm having fun. I'm having a good time while playing zombies. So it's okay. It's all right. But it's like Shadows of Evil, Black Ops 3 still, after years of playing Valorant with you, after years of playing Fortnite for the past 7 years, BO3 might be my most played game. Like still, because of how many hours I've dumped into zombies. It's just, it's not that it will never be the same. It's the fact that the team is being led in such a way that it almost feels like the exact opposite of what I said with the campaign. The campaign they talked about, they got a board. And they're just like, let's do the most creative shit possible while also being the most badass Mission Impossible movie ever. And it's just creative idea after creative idea. Hey, why don't we do this? Hey, let's implement this game mechanic. And it's awesome. It's the exact opposite, where they're just like, we got to do zombies. Somebody throw out an idea. Hey, let's do a town. Ooh, like town, like back in BO2, and it's going to be exciting and awesome. It's going to be a small map. Now, let's just remove all of the fun parts of that, and let's just make a bunch of slop.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's ship it. It feels like an afterthought, and Call of Duty Zombies is such a beloved mode that it should never be an afterthought.
I love this, and that's why it hurts so much for it to go away and like go down like this. All right, we're hopping into the PS5 Pro.
Yeah. Do you want to pull it out?
No, that's for the short form. Yeah, I'm not grabbing it. I spent the weekend playing it. I got it on Thursday. Started downloading games. Downloaded so many freaking games. And
so many games.
And it was so cool to hit download on like 10 things and then check my storage and still have over a terabyte left. The 2 terabyte SSD is a really nice factor in this. And that costs like $100.
Yeah.
So it's cool. Like it's a nice added benefit, especially with the price, of course, with the $700 price. So let me just, before we get into like the value proposition, I just want to talk about the games, the comparisons, kind of what I see. But I am not Digital Foundry. I am not this tech guy necessarily. Like I can see the differences. I can't always put my finger on where the differences are. I can sometimes have somebody explain it to me, and then I'm like, oh, okay, I understand this a little bit more. So I did reference the Digital Foundry video for certain things, and then went and looked at it myself, and then was like, yeah, okay, I can see it. But just take that information into account here. I'm not the tech guy, but let me go through what I've seen. I tested a bunch of games. Let's go game by game. Rebirth has a versatility mode. So they had the performance mode and the fidelity mode. Fidelity focusing on visuals, 30 frames per second. Performance mode focused on frame rate, but takes a major hit when it comes to the visuals.
It takes the largest hit out of any game on the PS5 between a performance mode and a fidelity mode. Like so, it is drastic enough where I normally play on fidelity mode. I was like, oh, I cannot play on performance mode. I honestly, for a lot of people, I'm like, that changes the experiences drastically. Like it's large. Sorry to cut you off there.
So popping into versatility mode, which removes that option for either and just combines them together, getting really good visuals, getting 60 frames per second. This was the game that I wanted to see the most out of all that because of that polar opposite experience when it came to the fidelity and the performance mode. This game on PS5 Pro, this is your poster child. This thing looks fucking awesome on PS5 Pro, running extremely smoothly, crisp image, not this like blurry like gross image that you got in performance mode originally. Still a gorgeous game in lots of areas, but those comparisons side by side, it is so drastic. And with versatility mode, playing a bunch of different sections, popping around through chapter select, I'm like, God damn, this game looks good. And I'm sad that I didn't save it for the platinum for a replay because I have no reason to play it other than just to marvel at it. I might just go play the ending just to feel something, just to feel alive again. When Brady is getting closer to the end, and I texted Brady, I was like, Brady, can you just let me watch you play it, please?
So Brady and I had a quick phone call a couple days ago where we were talking about the rest of this year, his goals, what he wants to finish by the end of the year. and he was like, we talked about the idea of blocking out some stream time for something like, hey, let's just do Neva in one night so he can check it off. Hey, let's do the second half of the Call of Duty campaign on a Friday night so he can check it off, so on and so forth. I was like, I know that like Connor and I yap it up. Like, we are yappers. That's what we do. I will make Connor and I sit with tape over our mouths if you let us sit next to you while we stream the finale. Yeah, I just want to be part of it. I want to see his face. I just want to like live it with him.
It's not necessarily that I even want to see Bray's reaction. I just want an excuse to watch the end of this game again. There's a moment at the end of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, no spoilers, that is maybe my favorite moment in all of video games that I think about all the time. I can like recite the lines to. I can see it in my brain of just like how cool it is when it comes to the music, when it comes to the emotion, when it comes to the characters. Like, it's so good.
There's a combination of two themes, like music wise, that is, I'm like, here we go. It's a Goosebump Valley, baby. Like, we're just back. Like, we're going straight down it, baby. Like, that's just how it goes. Sorry.
We can't talk about how amazing Rebirth is. Let's just talk about
how good it looks
on PS5 Pro. It looks great.
Yeah.
This is the promise of the PS5 Pro. And it is definitely the best example.
It's the show pony for what this can be.
Next, I checked out Stellar Blade, which has 2 Pro modes. It has Pro Max, which uses PSSR to upscale and give you better visuals and really focuses on the visuals, but also still gives you pretty solid frame rates, is what they say. I do not agree with that. The Pro Max mode is not good, in my opinion. It looks not as great as even just the regular Pro mode does. But the Pro mode, higher visuals, great frame rate. Stellar Blade looks fucking awesome on PS5 Pro. Looks great.
It looks great already. Is it that next step? Is that true next step?
There is, I mean, like, it runs better and it looks better.
Yeah.
Like, it is noticeable, in my opinion, which is not the case for everyone.
Ponies, potentially. We'll talk about where I'm at with the PS5 Pro experience at a later time.
Yeah.
But continue.
I already bought my stand.
Yes,
for
you did.
Then I played Astrobot, which has no patch. I just wanted to play the new levels. And there is supposed to be performance enhancements for games that don't have patches, just utilizing the GPU, and I noticed nothing different personally for that one. Alan Wake 2, this one is super disappointing in my opinion. They leaned way harder into the ray tracing and the visuals than they did for really stabilizing the frame rate in performance mode. You still have those 2 options between performance and fidelity, and fidelity looks fucking crazy, but still runs at 30 FPS. But it's really leaning into those ray tracing, like really cool tech.
But that's not what you want.
But that's not what I want. I want great visuals, great frame rate. That's what I'm looking for. And it's up to the developer to decide which they're going to prioritize and how they're going to do that. If you want to go crazy with the visuals, you're probably still not going to be able to get that 60 FPS. But for Pro mode, for the performance mode rather, it runs more smoothly. It does look better, but it's a disappointment. It doesn't go as far as I would like it to go. Dragon Age, no official switcher, which is weird.
Yeah.
It doesn't have a Pro mode, but it does have Pro enhancements is what it says. And I think that's really disappointing. I really wanted this thing to get pushed, and it apparently does, but as somebody who didn't play play it originally, this was my first time booting it up, I couldn't compare and contrast of like post-patch, pre-patch, but I am disappointed that there's no way to switch back.
Just a brief question on this. How much of Dragon Age did you play? Did you play like just the opening?
Yeah. So I barely touched it. So it's disappointing that there isn't a dedicated Pro mode. It kind of feels like they just went with like utilizing the GPU more heavily for performance mode to get like better frame rates or whatever and make it look a little bit better. Spider-Man 2, when it comes to the first party output, this is where like it really does shine, but also games still run so fucking great on PS5 when it comes to first party titles because they are optimizing it specifically for the PS5 and with the PlayStation 5 in mind. So like Spider-Man 2 already had so many great like options for you for like how you wanted to tailor that experience. Like didn't they add like a 40 FPS mode?
Yeah, there's something
with ray tracing and stuff. This I've never played this game with ray tracing on. I've only played it in performance mode. Playing with ray tracing, 60 FPS, fucking awesome.
Yeah.
It looks so good and it runs excellently, and you can do the pro mode. There's a Fidelity Pro. So there's Performance Pro and Fidelity Pro, and Fidelity Pro like way ups the visuals and you can see it. Like it is very distinct.
Do you mean Performance Pro? Way ups the visuals?
No, Performance Pro
ups the frame rate.
Ups the frame rate and the visuals.
Yep.
Fidelity Pro, 30 frames per second.
It's still 30.
But is like it's kind of like with the Alan Wake thing. It's like fucking skyrocketing the ray tracing, all the bells and whistles when it comes to the visuals. And it's like I just don't need that.
Yeah.
It still looks great with the ray tracing, but it is a noticeable difference.
Okay.
Like you can tell the difference. And that's with the Insomniac games in general. Ratchet and Clank, same deal, same modes. Noticeable, really cool to play with ray tracing, and it looks better.
I was about to say, if we ever get ready to play Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart on stream, that would be a fun one for a stream. We need to have a pro in the building for that, just because like that game is a show piece for. Well, that was a showpiece for the PS5 Pro or PS5
base. Yeah,
Pro. I assume it's going to be even better.
Yeah. So
VJs, we'll talk about that as we when we finish this up.
It's still 30 FPS for the ray tracing mode. That you're for like the going crazy mode. You cannot get ray tracing 60 FPS for almost any game on PS5, base PS5. Yeah. And the promise of the PS5 Pro, which it is delivering on for many, many, many games, is 60 FPS with ray tracing. That's impressive. 4K.
Yeah. My whole thing with it is let's finish out these games real quick before I hop in.
So next up we have Metaphor, which does not have a dedicated patch, but this is your example of a game that utilizes the better GPU and runs better. And this was pointed out to me from Digital Foundry. So like Digital Foundry did like a benchmark test, and when I was playing Metaphor, I really didn't notice like the dips in frame rates that they're showing in the base PS5, but on PS5 Pro, stable 60 all throughout, even in the more robust areas in that main city in towards the beginning of the game, like you're getting a solid 60 FPS. This is not the case for every game. Apparently Elden Ring, similar situation. Elden Ring runs best on PS5 Pro for consoles, most stable frame rate, best visuals. Elden Ring for consoles, PS5 Pro.
Yep.
You'll probably get a better experience on PC if you have a really souped up PC. Yeah. I tried Final Fantasy 16. No dedicated patch. Does run a little bit better. Does look a little bit better. Not this. It needs a patch. I would love a patch for this game. There's certain moments in this game where it runs terribly, and I really want a patch for it.
Watching the PC version of it, Andy play through the opening of that when that demo came out, it can look insane, and I just wanted to get there on the PS5 Pro, and that would give me an excuse to go back and play those DLCs.
Then I checked out The Last of Us Part 2 remastered. It has a pro mode which utilizes PSSR for upscaling to 4K and 60 FPS. This game just looks ridiculous already. I played the opening because I was still downloading it this morning, and I couldn't hop into No Return, which I wanted to like do like a more fluid movement type experience. Yeah. It already ran at 60 FPS, I think, in 4K already. So like the improvements are marginal. Like I couldn't really tell much.
Yeah,
yet.
it's like it looks the best. It's one of the top 5 games you would probably say on looks already in visuals. And so, how much further can you go? Do you hop into Demon Souls?
No,
is that one?
Which I've heard doesn't have that major improvement
because
it already looks fucking ridiculous.
It's a similar beat right there.
I tried Horizon Zero Dawn remake.
Oh, nice.
The new one looks fucking amazing.
Yeah,
like it's Horizon Zero Dawn and apparently Forbidden West look fantastic. Forbidden West, from what I've seen, I did not plug in my disk drive yet. Oh, so that's why I didn't try Forbidden West. I just didn't really feel like putting it on because it's a bit of a hassle. Yeah. But apparently Forbidden West is like the best showpiece for visuals.
So my question to you is the tagline of it's just 30 FPS.
Yeah, I'm going to read my synopsis.
Yeah, this is something that Connor read to me yesterday, and I'm like, yep, this sums it up perfectly, so give it a whirl.
So here's my thoughts. The future. Death Stranding 2, Ghost of Yotei, Monster Hunter Wilds, Doom the Dark Ages, GTA 6. I expect that with all of these titles on console, I will be having the best experience possible. Whether this be better frame rates, higher visual fidelity, or ray tracing, or finding the best middle ground possible utilizing PSSR to make up the difference, I think PS5 Pro is worth it for me, as an investment into the future with major examples right now as well. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Spider-Man 2, Horizon Zero Dawn Remake, and Stellar Blade all use the tech wonderfully, giving high frames and great visuals for an uncompromising experience. Other titles are a letdown like Dragon Age and Alan Wake 2, and others like Final Fantasy XVI leave a lot to be desired without a dedicated patch, but that could come in the future. This is a product I can't recommend unless you are in a very small subset of people, but I think Sony knows that. It's for the hardcore PS5 fan who wants the best experience possible. It's for those willing to put down the extra cash if they don't already have a PS5 and are given the option between the base model and the Pro for upcoming titles like Ghost of Yotei and GTA 6. Otherwise, this is a really hard sell at this price point. And if you already have a base PS5, it's easy to be comfortable with what you have for now, knowing that the Pro isn't so much of an upgrade that it makes the console completely inferior. I think the Pro is great, but I also understand it's not for everyone. It's actually not for many people at all. But for those it is for, it's delivering the goods.
Hell yeah.
That's my experience.
I just want to throw this out there. I've said this many times on this podcast. There's going to be Andy Holloway, Fantasy Footballers, does not currently have a PS5. He's going to play GTA 6. He does have disposable income. He's going to walk in and buy a PS5 Pro.
If you go into a store and you don't already have a PS5, it is a question. Yeah. And that is what Sony wants.
Yeah.
They want you to be like, I'm already dropping $500, buying an extra controller, thinking about buying some more games. And then you're like, okay, like I want something that's a little bit more future-proof, that's going to give me the best experience. Do I have the extra cash on hand to go a little bit harder and spend $200 more? That's a question. Yeah. I think the answer is going to be no for a lot of people. But if they get some people with that is worth it to them.
Yep.
And I think that is an interesting proposition. That's what this serves as. But if you already have a PS5, you do not need to be like, oh, I'm super jealous of those with the PS5 Pro. You are having a great experience.
So this is where I want to turn to my spot at this point. Currently don't have a PS5 Pro. We bought the one for the company. Connor was always like, we had the discussion of like, do we want this? Like in general, there's a reaction up where Connor and I have the conversation live where I'm like, I want one, but like that can be a down the line thing and we can try to figure it out. But Connor's like, I'm getting this for sure. I'm like, great.
I would have gotten this no matter what.
No matter what.
Because I am that audience that wants the best experience possible on PS5. But I understand that I am a very, very small minority. And knowing that in the future, these games that I listed, and then you have the games that aren't even announced yet, the next Naughty Dog game that is going to utilize this definite.
Sony Santa Monica.
If it's Sony first party, it's going to utilize this very well. And that is seen by the titles that are already out. One of the most disappointing aspects of this is that there isn't a game to directly come out with and enjoy right now, knowing that you're having the best experience. For me, when it came to God of War 2018 with the PS4 Pro, I had a regular PS4. I played halfway through God of War, and I was like, I had a really good shift at work. I worked as a Jimmy John's driver. I worked a 12-hour shift and made a nice little bag. And I was like, fuck it. I have this 4K TV. I'm not fully utilizing it. Let me go buy the Pro. And immediately I was like, yeah, this is a better experience.
So the other thing is I currently don't have a 4K TV. And I'm like, I'm not going to do this until I upgrade the TV. The TV that we currently utilize for our setup is bad. It's not a good TV. Yeah. We will upgrade it eventually. I will upgrade it eventually.
TCL R646 that has 120 FPS capability that is 4K. It's not top of the line. It is a mid-tier 4K television, but it has good reviews and I like it for the most part.
In college, I picked up a 4K TV for like $350 back in the day. Just like you can get 4K TVs pretty cheap. I literally got the apartment. I was like, I'm not going to ball out on the TV. That's just not a focus of mine right now. Once again, though, got the apartment. We were not even producing content yet when it came to the slate that we're doing currently. So I will eventually get there. We will do the whole damn thing. It will be a lot of fun. But for me, it's a wait and see. It's a Death Stranding 2. It's a Ghost of Yotei that are going to move the needle. Let's move into the final moments of this podcast, which is me teeing Connor up, talking about some Pokemon trading card games. Ready, Connor? You ready for this one?
Yep.
Connor, you've been playing Pokemon trading card games on your mobile. What?
It's Pokemon trading card game Pocket.
Pocket. Thank you. Yeah. I just know it's TGC.
You can say TGCP if you want.
TGCP?
Yeah.
Ooh. Connor, you've been playing Pokemon TGCP. How have you been enjoying it, and what is your review?
Yeah, so I off the top here, I want to say that I am not a mobile gamer in any capacity. The last mobile game that I got really into was Pokemon Go, just like everybody else. And since then, I've been playing no games on my phone. It's just not how I want to play games. But this Pokemon trading card game coming out, seeing it in that Pokemon Direct and being like, this is interesting to me. I grew up playing the card game as a kid. I think it presentationally looked really interesting. Let me give this a go. This game has taken over my life. It is so good. And for a mobile game, for what it is trying to do, for what it is trying to deliver on as an experience for the Pokemon trading card game on the go, this is a 9 out of 10 game. I think this is an excellent mobile game. So let's dig into this a little bit further. This game, when it comes to mobile games, I think it's easy to fall into like a really greedy path of microtransactions or loot boxes or whatever. And this does have aspects of that here, but I think at least early on, for the first 20 hours that I've played this game, is very generous when it comes to the packs that you can open, how you're like gaining currency and leveling up and everything, and what you can do in this game. You can just be playing this like pretty extensively without spending a cent. The only money that I've spent in this game, technically I haven't even spent any money, is I bought the premium pass because I was having so much fun, and I was like, I haven't paid anything for this. Like, minus, like, it gives you an extra pack every single day, and like, I'm comfortable giving $10 because I've gotten $10 worth of enjoyment out of this at this point, and I'm willing to pay for a little bit more. So you get to open 2 packs a day for free, which is awesome. And then you have leveling up to get these like hourglasses, which you can open up more packs with. And I think there was one moment where I was earning so many hourglasses that I was able to open 10 packs at once. And it's like, God damn, like I feel like that is not what I thought this was going to allow me to do. And then when it comes to the battles, it's your Pokemon fair, your trading card fair that, as a kid, I always wanted to get into the actual game itself, but I didn't have like friends to play it with. So like I like would get our mom to like try to play it, and she was just patronizing me. She didn't know what the heck was going on, so she was just like, "Yeah, let's play." And I never really got to have this major experience with this game. And as I understand it, it's a little bit of a dumbed down experience, but for what it is, I think it's really, really solid. It's very fun. It's a nice level of strategic. It's not crazy or anything, but it scratches that itch very, very well. I love the deck building. I love like kind of gaming this out. I know that there's a meta to the online a little bit right now, which is a little bit disappointing, but I've only played a few online matches and I'm not getting dumpstered. It doesn't seem like that's sweaty, which I was worried about. I was worried that I was getting, because I've played like the Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel game, and people just annihilate you immediately. Like, it's not even like, there's been instances where I've played that and I haven't even gotten a handoff, rather than like I'm just getting destroyed. So with this, it's casual enough for new players, but if you're a veteran, I imagine you can go even further with it. But the key to all of this, I think, is the presentation. I think the presentation of this game is so good. When you're talking about these cards, like it's hard to really connect with like this piece of paper or whatever maybe, but like you have this nostalgia and this experience from when you were a kid, knowing these characters, knowing these Pokemon, that like it's just really cool to see them in card form and collect that. And when you pull something that's really exciting, an EX card that's super rare, there's a lot of fanfare and presentation to it. There's certain cards where a cutscene will play, like opening up the vista and like flying around through it. It's really cool looking. Like, it looks great, it plays great, it sounds great. I put the music on every single time I'm playing this game. Like, I'll be at work and I'll turn my phone volume on so I can listen to it. I think overall, there's not a lot that I can point to here that I don't like. I think it's excellent. And I know that like we're talking like 9 for a mobile game might be different than 9 for like a PS5 game. So keep that in mind. But like, for what it is trying to deliver, what it does, it is an excellent game. And I can see myself playing this for a long time, which has not been the case for a mobile game in a very, very long time. Highly recommend it. Please check it out. It's a ton of fun. So yeah, That's my review.
I'm having a blast with it. I got a pack that I'm ready to open right when we get off camera because my timer just went up.
Yeah.
I love this. This is what mobile games should be all about. It is the time mechanic of, hey, you get to stop in once a day. You get to open a pack. You get that little hit of just happiness, and then you move on with your day. And I'm having a great time with it. I'm excited to hop into some battles and everything. But yeah, I really, really have enjoyed what I've played of it too. It's great. Check it out. I don't know if I'm at a 9 with it, but I'm like, this is exactly what I want from a mobile experience and everything. And the funny part is, Connor, let's get Brady on this shit, because come on.
Yeah,
goddamn.
I'm trying to get everybody on this.
Yeah.
I think you can battle friends.
As
I understand it. Yeah, which is super cool. Like,
somebody might was out there just battling people for like.
Oh yeah, they were doing like full on streams,
Yeah.
and I was like, that's super fun. Like, this is a video game as a video game. Whereas like a lot of mobile games feel scummy. Like it just feels kind of gross. Like with the amount of money that you have to put into it, and this just feels like a fun, casual experience. And I think it delivers on what it's trying to do, and that's all you can really ask for from any video game. Is like, what is it trying to do? How is it trying to do it? And does it do it? Yes, and yes. Like, so let's pop into the finale here with the most anticipated games of 2025 draft. Nick, I wanted the
2 pick because I didn't want the obvious number 1. There is a number 1. Also, to clarify this, the game has to be announced. It has to exist
and presumably be 2025.
So no E-Day for Gears. Like, that's not next year. We know that's not next year. And then it can't be 3D Mario, even though we presume there to be a 3D Mario next year.
But we can't
draft it.
Yeah.
So it's not out there yet.
All right, ready?
Yeah.
You kick it to me then.
Sure. Today we are drafting the most anticipated games of 2025. Connor, what is your first pick?
You got to take the first pick that everybody would take here. You're taking Grand Theft Auto 6. I am a fan of the Grand Theft Auto series. 4 is my favorite personally. I don't know exactly where they're going to go with this and how they're going to change the formula and make it something really special, but it's Rockstar. You have to assume they're going to deliver the goods. I just hope the expectations aren't out of control at this point, because they might be. They might be a little bit high for this game. This might be the like floor that this has to clear for this game to meet expectations is so high, but if anybody can do it, it's Rockstar. So let's see what they got. GTA 6 with my first pick.
With my first pick, this is personally my most anticipated for next year. It is Monster Hunter Wilds. The beta everyone had glowing reviews about. We saw this back at SGF. It looks fucking awesome. I'm so excited to have streams with you and Brady and Matt Lucet, catching some monsters or slaying some monsters, having a great time with our Palicos, going out on wild adventures. It's going to be a ton of fun next year. I'm really looking forward to Monster Hunter Wilds. And with my second pick, I'm choosing Ken Levine's return to form. I'm choosing Judas, dude.
Nice.
I am so excited for this game. This man made BioShock. This dude knows how to make immersive worlds that you get lost in and lose your mind. You're just like, oh, this is just the best shit ever. The trailer we saw at the Game Awards 2022 is one of my favorite trailers ever. The pure goosebump moment of seeing Ghost Story Games pop up and realizing we're about to see the latest and greatest from one of the greatest gaming masterminds of all time. I'm so excited for Judas. Next year, that's my number 2 choice.
With my number 2 pick and 3 pick, I'm just going to go back-to-back PlayStation bangers. We're going to go with Ghost of Yotei with my second pick. I don't know how they screwed this up. It's the second outing. I personally just want more Ghost. And it seems like that's what we're getting. More mechanics, new worlds, gorgeous vistas, just like you have in Ghost of Tsushima. I'm stoked. Cannot wait. Can't believe it's 2025. Let's get PlayStation back on track, and let's get these PS5 exclusives coming out, hopefully on time and hopefully of high quality, as you would assume with a PlayStation exclusive. With my third pick, I'm going to go with Death Stranding 2. Go watch the trailer from PlayStation State of Play from earlier this year. Maybe the best trailer ever, period. Like, when it comes to a feel, of how you're going to feel when playing it, it expresses that so perfectly with why I love Death Stranding 1 and how they're going to change it in Death Stranding 2. It looks so fucking good, dude. That one shot of Sam walking with the moon in the background, and it's the whole background, is one of the most striking shots of any video game I've ever seen in my entire life. I cannot wait for this game. Put some respect on Death Stranding 2. The Gran Turismo of walking simulators. Okay, shout out Tim Rogers.
Yeah, I mean, you have Troy Baker fighting samurais with a guitar. It's the greatest trailer of all time. Like,
It's so
wrap it
cool.
up, dude. I think about that trailer once a week, and every single time, and I cannot help but smile. Great pick. I'm also looking forward to that one because he's trading in a rope, Connor, for a stick. All right, with my third pick, yes. Oh no, fourth. No, third. Sorry.
Yep.
With my third pick, I'm choosing the best fighting game from next year, 2XKO. It's happening. It's like this game is finally going to come out, and the alpha fucking awesome. Like, this is going to be one of the greatest fighting games ever. So yeah, I'm going to choose 2XKO. I'm really excited for this one. It's going to be awesome.
So out of left field.
I know. When we were in the other room, and I was like, you don't have this on your board, but that is going to be one of the greatest fighting games.
There's so many games to choose from. I just can't believe you're picking that.
I know. And then with my fourth pick, I'm going to choose Doom: The Dark Ages. This is the most guaranteed 9 out of 10 game ever. This game is just going to be fucking amazing. They gave him a shield that is also a chainsaw, and you're just he also is flying through a mech in the trailer. I'm so excited to see what Bethesda can do with this one, and id can do with this one, because it almost feels like Bethesda hasn't hit that peak ass shit that we know that they can deliver. Doom is as good as it gets from them. I'm really excited for that one. Doom is going to be my next pick.
With my fourth pick, I'm going to pick a game that came completely out of left field last year that we're getting so soon. We're getting in spring of next year. I'm going to pick Clair Obscur Expedition 33. Turn-based, gorgeous RPG, looks excellent. Great cast, really impressive voice cast. I cannot wait for this game. I need more turn-based RPGs in my life. It's got a new, like, cool visual flair to it that I think is very unique. Love it. Cannot wait. With my final pick, I'm going to take Fable. I've never been into the series. This will be my first foray into it. Really excited for it. Really cool to see it coming back. So that's my final pick for today.
My final pick is going to be South of Midnight. I'm so excited to see what this team can do. It's much further along than we thought it was going to be. To see gameplay this past summer and for it to look as awesome as it does. This art style is just so freaking interesting. You look at it, you're just like, yep, there's nothing else really like this in the industry. The fact that the gameplay looks as tight as it does, the whole setting is going to be fucking awesome. I'm really looking forward to South of Midnight. One of my most anticipated from Team Green next year. Can't wait for it. South of Midnight, my final pick.
All right, that's been your casual gaming conversation for this week. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Peace out.